Chapter 3. The Ride and Rise. The bells had long stopped ringing when Ezra, Micah, and Eve rolled their bikes toward the chapel's west gate, the stone path warm beneath their tires. Eve was already waiting, arms folded, foot balanced on the pedal of her cherry-red frame. "You're late," she said. Micah grinned. "We were on kitchen duty. Blame my charming aunt. She made you scrub, didn't she? Soup pots. Big ones." Ezra didn't say much, just checked the sky. The clouds were drifting east, slow and golden. A good sign. They set off together, tires crunching softly against the packed path as they coasted downhill. The rural village spread out around them in soft colors. Sun-washed homes, tidy fences, vines blooming across arched walkways. The hospitality house stood just ahead, low and long, with broad adobe walls and carved wood shutters. A family sat on the porch with luggage beside them, sipping cool drinks. "That's Clan Emil," Eve said. "From Bethany District, I think." "They have those big melon fields, right?" Micah asked. Ezra checked his arc with the flick of his hand. "Yep, second ring north. Must be visiting for school rotation." They passed the town square where a weaver's loom clacked steadily in a shaded stall. A cobbler waved from his shop, where two teens in aprons polished leather under a mentor's watch. From the green, music floated out. Someone tuning a fiddle for a coming celebration. "Jonah's district doesn't have music like this," Eve said, coasting ahead slightly. "They've got that honey bakery, though," Micah said, puffing. "Still not worth trading our cheese," Ezra muttered. They laughed. Their bikes picked up speed as they passed a stone marker etched with 12 clan sigils, its inscription reading, "Divide the land, keep the covenant." At the edge of the village, the dirigible platform came into view. An elevated dock shaded by canvas sails. A few other travelers waited there, standing beside bikes or baskets of goods. Overhead, the short-range dirigible approached in silence, sails catching the light like wings of folded paper. It was a smaller craft, no larger than a farmhouse, its metal skin dull with age, but graceful in its approach. No hum, no propellers, just a soft hiss as it lowered into the cradle. "Ever been on one of the sleep ones?" Eve said. "The Long Rangers?" Micah grinned. "Once, when I was little. They've got real bunks, a dining car, even a library." "You have to reserve those," Ezra added. "Dad says you only ride them for coast-to-coast or border flights." This wasn't that. This was local. Just enough to carry people and freight between sister villages. Fold-down seats lined the walls, but with their bikes in tow, they didn't bother taking them. The bay door opened with a gentle hiss. Inside, the space was half full. A few farmers nodded in greeting. One woman wore her clan sash and tapped her arc in hello. Ezra nodded back. "Shalom." They rolled their bikes up the ramp and stood near the rear window. The doors sealed behind them, and within seconds the platform dropped away. The flight was smooth. Through the windows, the farms below spread like patchwork. Sunflowers, grain rows, fish ponds, beekeeping domes, orchards shaped like spirals. "There's the Seraphine orchard," Eve pointed. 4 generations, I think." "And that bend in the river?" Micah said. "Belongs to Rachel's folks." Ezra tapped his arc to confirm, then smirked. "Confirmed. And Eve, you're technically related to them. 4th cousins." She rolled her eyes. "Everyone's related." "Yeah," Micah added. "Some more than others." The dirigible slowed as they crossed into the next district. A modest landing pad came into view near another village center, similar to Raoul, but shaped differently. Built around a square instead of a circle. Clay roofs, wind chimes, gardens, and vertical layers. At the base of the platform, Jonah, Rachel, and Naomi waited with their backs, waving as the craft lowered. "Looks like they beat us," Ezra said. "Let the adventures begin," Micah grinned. Chapter 4. The dirigible hissed as it touched down. The docking clamps groaned softly as they latched in place. Ezra, Micah, and Eve rolled their backs down the ramp, boots thudding against the planks. Below, 3 familiar faces waited beside a carved bench. Their own backs leaned against a rail post. "Finally," Jonah called out. "We thought you missed the flight." "We were savoring the view," Micah said, grinning. "Also," Ezra was slow. "I was not," Ezra said. "We're two." Eve ignored them both and gave Rachel a quick hug. "You brought dried berries?" Rachel held up a cloth pouch with a proud smirk. "Dewberries from this morning's harvest. Dried them myself." She passed it around. Naomi offered a bottle of chilled tea from her pack, and they passed that too. Ezra dug into his side pouch and pulled out the little wax paper candy bags from earlier. "I forgot I had these," he said. "From Lochos." Micah's eyes widened. "Star candy?" "Maybe," Ezra said, handing out the bags. They tore them open like small gifts. Inside were fruit chews, wrapped caramels, and yes, a few crystalline sugar stars that glinted like glass. "You always bring the good stuff," Rachel said, popping a chew into her mouth. The group pushed off together, bikes rolling onto a packed earth lane leading into the village. Bethel, this one was called. Part of the rural district, but newer. The roads weren't as worn in, the buildings a touch brighter. "Still feels like home, though," Eve said, eyeing the gardens set in neat rows along the houses. "No real difference," Naomi said. "Just more sunflowers here." "And bigger bugs," Jonah said. "Come summer, they sound like they're trying to start a choir." The village center had a bakery, a general store, a tool shop, and the fried fish stall where they stopped next. Jonah leaned over the counter. "2 plates of catfish, please. Nana likes it crispy." The vendor, an older woman with a floral handkerchief and warm eyes, handed him a wrapped tin. "Tell her Ada says hi, and that she still owes me a story." "She'll deny it." Jonah grinned, handing her a few strips of jerky in trade. With the catfish packed, they rode on through the outskirts of Bethel. The homes gave way to open land, fields marked with family stones, and a tidy footpaths running between low fences. "That's the Halden plot," Naomi said, pointing. "My uncle grows eggplants there." "Isn't it the Braille field over there?" Rachel added. "Didn't they swarm out to Jubilee?" "Yeah, last season," Micah said. "New place already has a school and 3 greenhouses." They slowed near a bend in the trail, where the trees opened up and you could see the long slope of farmland stretch toward the hills. "Think the announcement is about a new swarm?" Eve asked, glancing sideways. "Probably," Jonah said. "This village is near the mark." "It's always weird," Rachel said softly, "seeing folks go. You know they're close, but they feel far," Naomi finished. Micah shrugged. "Dirigibles go everywhere. It's not like the old days." Ezra didn't say anything, but he looked at the hills beyond. Somewhere out there, new homes were being framed, new gardens tilled, and somewhere, far beyond those hills, a mining colony was being carved into the face of the moon. "Come on," Jonah said. "Nana's waiting." They pedaled again, heading toward a hilltop where a home with a wraparound porch sat under a swaying oak. Smoke curled gently from the chimney, even though the afternoon was warm. The road curved gently past a slow-running stream, its edges lined with flat stones and clusters of mint. The kids rowed 2 by 2, coasting lazily now, the weight of the catfish in Jonah's basket keeping their pace casual. You really think it's another swarm? Rachel asked, popping the last of her sugar candy into her mouth. Could be, Micah said. Bethel's close to the threshold. They'll probably carve out something east, Naomi added. That flat ridge near the citrus fields. Still think they should do it in the dry season, Eve muttered. Painting and hauling lumber in the heat? That's cruelty. You could always volunteer for kitchen duty instead, Jonah offered with a grin. Last time I did that, I peeled potatoes for 4 hours. I peeled squash and got stung by a hornet, Micah said. At least paint doesn't fight back. They laughed, their voices light and unhurried. Ezra rode slightly behind, his arc in one hand, not really even looking at it, just tracing the shape of their route, watching the familiar family plots pass below them. Every field, every marker had a name. That's the Loire field, he said quietly, pointing toward the red-brown soil lined with sprouting vines. They were part of the original Raoul seed team. Didn't their son go up on one of those mining launches? Rachel asked. Micah nodded. First wave, yeah. Helped lay the rail line for the crawlers. You think they'll ever do something like that again? Naomi asked. A launch from Rule? Eve's eyes sparkled. If they do, I'm volunteering. I'd scrub floors just to go. Jonah shrugged. I don't know. It'd have to be big. Not just a job, but a purpose.